What's up, YouTube? It's Jacob, the Itty Bitty Gamer. We're here starting to play a new series. I'm gonna play through a full game. I don't normally do that. I do a lot of individual episodes and such. I'm gonna play through Pokemon FireRed version, which of course everybody knows is an updated version of the original Red version for the Game Boy. I'm old school. I know with the surgence of Pokemon Go, we've had a lot of new kids, getting into Pokemon. We're gonna start over again completely. We've had this push of all these new kids loving Pokemon. Specifically, my nephews, my little brother, all 8 years or younger. They're starting to find Pokemon and really start to bring a lot more popularity back to Pokemon that wasn't there before. Now, for me, my rant on Pokemon Go is as simple as there's nothing to frickin' do. Why play Pokemon Go? I don't know. I don't completely understand it. The game is super basic. And for God's sake, all you do is walk around and collect Pokemon in Pokemon stops. That's not what Pokemon is. Anybody will tell you that Pokemon there's a huge part of battling, and people are like, well, you can battle in the gyms. Yeah, sure you can, because that makes a ton of sense. The concept of how that works is just not at all Pokemon. That's not even like Pokemon Stadium, where you can still pick the moves you're asking them to do. But here, all you can do is just tap the screen. You get 2 moves. You get 1 power-up move. I mean, how hard was it to make the game almost identical to Pokemon, but make it for the reality of our world? I don't know. Honestly, I do game design, and you know that from my other channels. But from what I know, it's not. It wouldn't have been that hard. I want to take a quick little interject here and let everybody know what I'm calling my rival is work. By the way, because I just can't stand work. So that's my rival. But anyway, so we're gonna be playing. I'm gonna be playing through this. I'm looking forward to really putting some time into it and having a good time playing. A classic game that I grew up with. A little bit advanced, of course, past what I original, because it's FireRed, not Red. So it is a little bit different. Just barely though. So I mean, there's that. But I like playing classic games, and I really want to move my channel into a place where classic games will be really what I'll be playing. A lot of playing a lot on the computer, and a lot of my classic game systems and things like that. And I played through most, and I hope to finish one day. I played through most of what was that? Ninja Gaiden, whatever people say. Put through most of that, and that was fun. I'm awful at that game though, so as everybody saw if you watched that, you should watch it because I die a lot. But yeah, so I don't know. Pokemon's fun. I really enjoy it. I think the concepts are fun. I do find it really fun that the whole concept of, and not fun, but funny, like ironic or just weird, but still kind of funny. Whatever. I find it interesting that that people. The whole idea in Pokemon is that you travel and you fight monsters, and you have to beat them down, weaken their soul and their utter being, and then throw a Pokemon ball at them and capture them in this tiny little cage, which has no movement or anything, and then they shrink down like they're like they're data, but they're not. We think about them as data because it's a game and because you are able to shrink them down, and they go into the Pokédex, and but they're a live animal for this you know, this world, and you as Ash, or as whatever your character, you as Red, whatever, you go through and you you know, you have to beat them down. And the only way to win the game is to capture Pokemon, which is basically enslave the best Pokemon, enslave one of every Pokemon. And you see that in the TV show too. You know, there's characters that don't really catch them, or battle with them. They just learn about them. They heal them, whatever. So I think that's really funny. That's super cool. So I always struggle with the very beginning here. You know, which Pokemon do I want? Do I want Bulbasaur? He's very easy to raise. You know, I've used Bulbasaur before. Squirtle, he's got some strength to him, and some defense. But then, you know, Charmander's got a lot of strength. He's very strong. And if you think about, you know, the evolutions and where it can go, of course, Charmander, Charizard is a great option near the end of the game in comparison to say, Venusaur, as far as I know. But I love having a grass Pokemon to be able to do things like sleep and poison and such when I'm trying to catch some of the bigger Pokemon that are hard to catch. Having a grass Pokemon's great. You know, I'm gonna do what I think is the underdog here, because it's gonna make things hard for me moving forward, because it's not gonna give me an advantage anywhere. At least not anytime soon, to pick Bulbasaur. So I'm gonna go ahead and Bulbasaur. I think that sounds like a great Pokemon this time. Oh, excuse me. No, I never give nicknames. I don't know about people that do, and some people take it very seriously, coming up with witty little nicknames and all this kind of stuff, and they do it with Pokemon Go now too. You know, the whole nickname thing, and I find it just dumb. The whole idea of giving your Pokemon a nickname is just weird to me. Like, I don't understand the concept. I don't get it. I don't know why you would do it. I'm interested, I guess, to know why people do it, but I don't do it. I like the names of the Pokemon. You know, they took a lot of time to figure out what these names were gonna be and all that. So, why change it? And plus, I'm not gonna have multiple, so I'm not gonna have like one Bulbasaur that I call Baldy and one Bulbasaur that I call Soreman or something. I know those are dumb names, but it's like the concept is that. Ooh, I'm tired. Oh, for Pete's sake. So, this is what I meant by not having like any sort of advantage, because right now I'm about to take on a fire versus a grass. Now I think a water versus a fire, or a water versus a grass, or things of that nature. I think those are a little bit closer, but I really feel like a fire versus a grass is just it's so there's so much more of a possibility of Charmander winning no matter what, even if it's lower level or such, because he's got a lot of strength in comparison. Bulbasaur's got the defense, but Charmander can have such strong strength. So I feel like that's going. You can just see what happened right there. The amount that I took out from my tech was much lower than the amount that Charmander took. And specifically, you can see that Bulbasaur is given a way to lower the attack of Charmander, which is specifically because Charmander is so much stronger, and his scratch is so much stronger than just the regular attack. So it'd be interesting to see how I do, what Pokemon I decide to pick. You know, the biggest issue I run into with Pokemon when I'm playing, I might lose this battle. God, I suck sometimes. I have that potion though, so it's okay. But because you don't ever want to lose to work. By the way, screw work. I'm gonna use that potion. No big deal. You eat potions like crazy. But one of the important, like, I mean, one of the things that bugs me most and the struggles I have most with Pokemon, the games, is that there's not enough Pokemon as you move forward. Like, they give you the Pokemon in a gentle, like, kind of gentle, like, progression, and it's only so many. Like, until you get towards the middle of the game or such, where you're getting a lot more. At the beginning of the game, almost everybody's team's exactly the same. Why do I keep missing? But everybody's team's exactly the same. You know, you're gonna get a Caterpie, you're gonna get a Weedle. If you're smart, you'll get a Pikachu. And we will be getting a Pikachu. Now, if you don't know where that is, I'll show you. It's pretty cool. But yeah, it's basically the same. You know, I'm gonna get a Fearow or a Spearow. I mean, I'm gonna get a Spearow or a Pidgey. I'm gonna get a Rattata. You know, it's just one of those things where I feel like they could have, especially with the newer generations, rather than just throwing out the generational Pokemon. And I feel like you always end up with a freaking Pidgey or Rattata. And that's the same thing with damn Pokemon Go. It bugs the hell out of me because it's like, no, I don't want those as, why do those have to be the basic Pokemon? You know how many other basic Pokemon there are? It doesn't have to be those. So anyways, that's that rant. You know, the other thing about yeah, I don't want to talk to you. The other Pokemon games is, you know, they're much more advanced. Like, I remember playing Pokemon White and that whole 3D look and going through the giant city and how they can do that kind of stuff. Super cool on the handheld. Really, actually, super cool. You know, the issue that I ran into, that I had with it, nowadays is because, you know, I'm a classic gamer. I've been playing games, you know, since early 90s, and I'm talking early 90s. You know, I was playing games by the time I was 4 years old, if not younger. And you know, actually, I was probably playing in the 90s, like 1990. So I was playing like Super Mario World and all that kind of stuff back when I first started. So I'm a classic gamer. Like, these are the games I grew up with. These Pokemon was just a TV show before Red came out, Red and Blue, and the idea of playing and trading and you know, playing the different versions, and then, you know, we used to play at school and talk to each other, and it was a lot of fun, and it's basic, and, you know, it wasn't all colorful even like this. This is super colorful. You know, there was like no color in mine. It was like a green screen kind of basic game, and you know, now I think kids even playing this, you know, they'll look at games like this and they'll be like, that's horrible graphics. How do you play that? How do you even look at that? And it's like, because it's phenomenal in comparison to what I came from. You know, the graphics and things like that. I know people that are much older than me that have been playing games since, you know, the inception of games. You know, they look and they see games as, you know, virtual reality is already there for them. You know, they're already seeing a reality from the games, because they came from Atari or you know, arcade machines, you know, playing Pong and Asteroids. And Asteroids, it's some little white, it's like literal white lines on a black screen. That's it. That's the whole thing. It's all vectors, just basic vectors, and I find that to be absolutely hilarious, because kids these days just don't respect, and everything's about graphics. We forgot about gameplay, and as a game designer, personally, and a game player, that really bothers me, because it's like I don't want to just play, I want to play games. I want to play a game. I'm not just looking at a game. I'm not watching a movie. I love my movies to be beautiful, really grip me, bring me in, but I'm not playing. So they have to do something else in order to make me, really connect with it, and I love that. I don't like that 3D shit, but we won't get into that right now. But kids have forgotten about gameplay. We want to play Call of Duty. There's no gameplay in it. The gameplay is shooting people. I'm not saying you can't get good at it. That's not gameplay, though. That's general skills. Okay, that's like going out and shooting, a basketball. Shooting the basketball is not the gameplay. It's the games that you make with it. And I feel like the games we have been whittled down so much to the classics so much to the standards of just a skill. Let's make somebody do a skill and they'll have fun doing it. No. The gameplay is so much more than that. Because if you think about it, it's like, oh, but they have capture the flag and things like that. But how many times do you actually play the capture the flags or any game mode within that game? You don't. You play a game where they ask you to shoot people. Period. It's a skill, and you're just playing through it. That's it. And there's so many good games out there still, and they're just not getting the recognition that they deserve. It's games kind of like Mirror's Edge. I believe that's what it was called. The free running game. Interesting game. Recently started playing it, trying it out. Really kind of hard. Not immediately easy to pick up, for me at least. Because of course I'm much more of a classic gamer, so I don't run into stuff like that very much. So, yeah. So I mean that's that rant. I don't know. I just find that gameplay like this, it's basic. I'm pressing A. I'm battling Pokemon. There is no real skill technically here. There's a skill of being able to use your Pokemon correctly and things like that, but it's more advanced than that, because it's the gameplay, it's the story, it's the entire essence of what I'm doing that creates the fun of it, and not just am I better than the guy that I'm fighting against, am I better than somebody else, and that's what the games really have gone to these days. So I don't know. But let's get out of town, man. Let's go catch some Pokemon. All right, Gramps. No. Person. But so we're gonna go ahead and get out of town here, or get right to getting out of town, and then that'll be episode 1, guys, or gals, or YouTube. That's it. So. I know not much has happened, but I talked a lot, so hope you enjoyed my ranting about Pokemon and Pokemon-like things in video games. You'll get tons more as we move forward and we play through the game. Probably a little more about the game now that we're actually getting into it. But thanks for watching. I'll see you guys at the next episode.